Hello everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to Live It Up, the show where we explore and discuss how to take your life to that next level and beyond. We cover health, wealth, relationships, and how to create a life that feels good. Because after all, that's what we want. We want to feel good. I'm your host and coach, Fletcher Ellingson. Amy is out for a few weeks, so in her stead, I'll remind you to take care of yourself. Get outside if you can. Move your body. Fuel it with healthy foods. Remember, health is the first wealth. Today, instead of visiting with Amy, we're going to be visiting with Mr. Mark Milner from Omak, where he is one of the owners of the North Cascades Athletic Club. And Mark and I are going to be discussing something that's very near and dear to both our hearts, and that's pickleball. You heard me right, pickleball. Maybe you've never heard of it, or maybe you've heard of it and know that it's all the rage right now. Well, there's good reason for it, and we're going to get into that after the commercial break. But before we go, I do want to remind you that if you have questions that you'd like us to answer on or off the air, email those directly to me at fletcher@fletcherellingson.com. You don't need to suffer. You don't need to try to figure it out all on your own. There are answers, solutions, and ways to get unstuck and move forward powerfully. Now, I usually take a few minutes to answer an online question at this point, but today I want to expound a bit on a concept that I think is almost magical and can create wonders in your life. What's the topic? Appreciation. You know, we've had a number of real estate professionals on this show, and we talk about homes appreciating. And what people mean by that is that the value of the home goes up. It's worth more. Its value has increased. But here's the neat thing. Homes go up in value simply because we agree they are worth more. In many cases, there have been no improvements to the home. Yet they appreciate, they go up in value because we say they do. We say they are worth more. In fact, our entire monetary system is all an agreement. We say a dollar is worth X, and sometimes the dollar appreciates, and sometimes it depreciates. We agree things are worth a certain amount. Now, what I want to invite you to consider is that this works the same way for people. It works the same way for relationships. And what do I mean by that? What I mean is that when you appreciate someone, meaning, I'll give you an example. Like, hey John, I really appreciate how you cleaned that room so meticulously. Or, hey Sally, I really appreciate how you listened to that presentation, or how you really were attentive. Right? I appreciate what an attentive husband you are, what a caring teacher you are. When you say these things, you raise the value of that individual in your mind. They occur more valuable to you. And when another person is being appreciated, it can raise a sense of value in them too. Like I said, it's almost magical. In fact, you can begin to raise your own sense of value just by appreciating wonderful and beautiful qualities about yourself. And how good does it feel to appreciate others and yourself? It feels great. And it's easy to do. It's free. So, want to raise your value? Want to raise the value of someone else? Begin appreciating them. Remember, I said this is almost magical. You may have heard me say that I've been a professional magician for over 30 years now. And so that popular magical phrase, abracadabra, has an extra special meaning for me. It's actually an Aramaic phrase, abracadabra, meaning I will create as I speak. Isn't that cool? I will create as I speak. Talk about magical. We create with our words. So my question to you is, who can you begin to appreciate today? Is it time to raise your own value? That of another? Go for it. You've got the power. You've got the magic wand. All right, stick around and we'll be right back after the commercial break to talk with Mr. Mark Milner. Hey everybody, welcome back to Live It Up. We are here talking with Mr. Mark Milner from OMAC, and today we're talking about
pickleball.
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
That's right. I'm a newbie to pickleball and fast in love with it. But before we get to all that, I want to find out what's going well in your life. What's a win you got to share with us?
Oh, I just, you talked about appreciation, and I am just there with just part of my life where my kids are getting older and my wife is so supportive and things are just, and that, you know, things can always change, but I have my health, I have some dear friends, I'm just grateful for the opportunities that's been coming my way, and so those are big wins. You know, you start taking away your health and your relationships, you know, but those other things might feel like wins, but the true wins are some of the relationships and your health. So
yeah.
Right now I'm feeling good and doing what I love to compete and teach the game of pickleball and also fitness in general. So yeah.
So life is good.
Yeah, it is real good.
Right on,
yeah.
right on. I'm glad to hear it.
Yeah.
Well, hey, we're going to talk about pickleball, but believe it or not, there's still maybe some people out there who don't know what it is. In fact, I literally just talked with somebody on my way up here, and I was talking about pickleball, and I said, "Have you ever played?" She was like, "No, I'm not really sure what it is, other than I know one of my friends just got into it and is addicted."
Yeah.
So, but for the people who don't know what it is, just kind of give us a brief overview.
So pickleball is, if you think of a ping pong table and then an overgrown ping pong table. So one pickleball court you can fit 4 pickleball courts onto one tennis court. So if you think about one tennis court, you can actually fit 4 of them on there. So when you get playing singles or doubles, it's much smaller of a court. So that's the court size. Now, kind of a cross between ping pong and I would say ping pong and tennis. So you use a paddle like ping pong, you use a wiffle ball, about the same size as a tennis ball. You have a net and you play to 11, and the reason why it's just gangbusters is it's so easy to learn.
Yeah.
But it's so hard to master.
Yes. Right. Yeah.
So,
the entrance or the barrier to entrance is very low. Right.
Right.
I mean, the equipment's inexpensive.
Oh yeah.
You know, you just need a racket and a ball and a court, and there's a lot of courts out there now.
Yeah, and especially if the ratio is where you can fit 4 courts onto one tennis court, or you can find in your backyard that you got 60 feet by 30 feet, you can put in a pickleball court in your yard. And what we're also finding out, especially during this pandemic, was the cul-de-sacs. You found pickleball courts just popping up in the middle of a cul-de-sac.
Right on.
And so you have just an asphalt surface, throw out a temporary net, and people are playing pickleball.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
And you know, it's you mentioned it's kind of easy to learn, more challenging to master, of course.
Yeah.
But it's also really fast-paced, right? Or at least it can be.
Right.
And it's kind of like you get a dopamine hit every time you get a good whack in there, right?
Right.
And so it's a really feel-good game.
Oh, absolutely. And there isn't a lot of downtime in between. So if you have a bad shot, you quickly start the next point.
Yeah.
And I think we naturally just hang on to some of our good shots. We sometimes don't learn to correct our mistakes because we quickly sweep those bad shots under the rug. But there's just so much action, so much play, and the downtime is so little.
Yes.
When you compared to some other sports, you just eliminate a lot of that downtime.
Yeah, and would you agree that this is a sport that it doesn't matter what your age is?
Oh,
right.
Absolutely. That's why I say you're finding that the athletes or ex-tennis professionals, I'm coming across more and more that are my age and they used to play professional tennis or collegiate tennis, and they're jumping in. But what more importantly is I'm putting a paddle in somebody who's 70 years old,
yes,
not in the best health, and mobility isn't the best thing, but they have been able just to fall in love with it because it's such a small sport, and it doesn't take a lot of strength to be able to hit a ball over the net.
Yes.
And there's just something therapeutic, like you said, addictive therapeutic when you're smacking something around.
Yeah,
So,
right. Yeah, exactly.
So we're finding the sport is probably so inclusive to so many all ages.
Yes.
And when I first thought of it, I was thinking, oh, it's a senior sport. It's something I'm going to do when I retire. And then all of a sudden I started playing a little bit, and I'm like, well, this is a lot of fun. And then I'm like, okay, where's the next tournament? You know. And so all of a sudden I'm on board going with that route, whereas most of the people just want to go out and play with social as part of their day and just getting some exercise and really developing a lot of benefit relationships through the sport. So.
Yeah, and there are a lot of wonderful benefits to playing it. I mean, you got the side-to-side action for your body,
Yes.
right? I mean, it's good for balance and agility and cardio, but you can play at whatever level you want.
Yes, and not only that, it's I look at my parents or other people that started. There was a diabetic group that started up in OMAC, and we're going through on that. And then I introduced pickleball to them, and they find out, yes, they can play. And the other thing is the mental. You got to remember 3 scores in pickleball.
Yep.
You got to remember if it's your score, their score, and are you the first or second server. So it's just. Besides physically, it's good memory and good sound strategy, and so there's just so many benefits besides, you say, strength, but balance, control, power, but touch. You know, you got it all really in the sport.
Yeah. How long have you been playing?
So I think I've been playing about 5 years.
5 years?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And you've gotten a lot of playing it, because you are now. What level are you at right now?
So I just turned the corner and playing the senior pro. You have to be 50, and you playing the top level now with kind of the professional level. So there's a little bit more on the line, and so I go to tournaments to try to gain points and trying to get that ranking going. So that's where it started with me at the end of last year and the first of this year.
Got it. So you're and this is the direction you really want to go, right? Competitive playing.
Yeah, I enjoy that. I know this window is closing. I'm 52, and meaning the senior pro, and so there's just every year just younger guys getting in.
Yep.
And so I'm just recognizing, hey, the window's closing, but also really enjoy the relationships and people I meet all across the country. And so...
And you're doing well.
Well, I'm doing well in singles. Okay, there's singles and doubles. Most of the people play doubles, but I really find success in the singles. So
Right on.
I'm taking that, but I'm being humbled in the doubles. So you're learning. You learn more through your losses than you do your wins, and so I've been learning lots lately.
Yeah, one of the most helpful things that I got from you in that workshop we did together was, after we played and then the ball went out of play, you stopped me and said, okay, let's break that down. What happened? When did you lose control? Where were you trying to hit it? Were you thinking about where you were trying to hit it, right? Or were you just whacking it? That has stuck with me, and like you said, you learn a lot more from your mistakes and losses.
Right.
So I've been really paying attention to that in my own game.
Good.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, so thanks for that.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing where that goes. But it's pickleball is a game of errors. We remember the putaways and the hard shots, but the points are going to be decided if someone makes an error. So it just requires an amazing amount of patience. Sometimes it's not a lot of athletic ability. It's just keeping the ball low, unattackable, be patient, be patient, be patient. There it is.
Yes.
And now you get to reap your reward.
Yes.
If you try to go out there and take it too soon, you're going to be making mistakes too early. And so that's a big part of learning the game for me. Coming from a tennis background, you can just kind of muscle your way into success, or just hit the ball harder or serve harder. not finding that as much with the game of pickleball.
Yeah, a game of patience. I like
Yeah.
that. Hey, we're going to take a quick break, but we're going to be back after this to talk more about pickleball and find out about you got a workshop coming up, right?
Yes, I do.
A workshop and how you can get involved with it too. All right, stay with us. Hey everybody, welcome back to Live It Up. We're talking pickleball today, something I am passionate about, and I know this guy next to me, Mr. Mark Milner, is as well. Mark, tell us about, you got a couple workshops coming up.
Yeah, so I teach in OMAC in Chelan right now, weekly, give lessons in privates. But I'm really excited about a camp that we're doing on May 6th and 7th for those who never played the game, or those who've kind of played but want to get better, and for those who are like, hey, I'm getting ready for a busy summer, trying some tournaments. So we can fit all those kind of players into a camp, and our sessions run about 4 hours. And so we were able, Devin Schmidt is an excellent instructor and a player from the West Side. And I'm coming down from OMAC, so we'll be in here in Wenatchee at a private court, indoor court, just in case it gets windy or bad weather, May 6th and 7th. And we're going to give an opportunity to really kind of teach the game and just get off to a correct start. So,
nice.
A lot of times it's easier forming a bad habit than it is, trying to get a good habit started. So,
yeah.
So we lay down the foundation. But if you're a more advanced player, we're really going into the strategies. And the other thing, from playing these tournaments and rubbing shoulders with some of the best instructors out there, just really been picking up a lot of ways that I can help teach the game a little bit better. So, and that's what I've done most of my life. Working business life is teach the game of tennis and now pickleball. So now I'm just looking forward to doing some camps, and Devin's a great guy, just super excited to, we're going to have a fun camp coming up.
And the dates again are what?
So May 6th is a Friday. There's a 4-hour session. That's more kind of a newer to pickleball.
Mm-hmm.
And then May 7th will be, we have it set up for the morning time to be more of a family. So if it's something that you and your kids want to play, I have a 9-year-old and 11-year-old that are super pumped about pickleball.
Cool.
And so, so that's something if you want to do with the family, we have that session. Right now, we're not seeing a big sign up with kids. But I'm just a firm believer that we got to work on this next generation, and the skills that you can learn from pickleball all transfer to other sports. I keep telling kids lateral movements, hand-eye coordination, strategy, that kind of thing. So May 7th will be start in the morning of some family and kids, and then we finish off with some more intermediate, advanced play on that Saturday evening.
And do you have another something coming up this month, don't you?
Okay, so I have a tournament at the end of May up in OMAC, and that is for all levels and all ages. So there's over 50 division in your skill level, and then there's under. So that one's coming at the end of May. In the meantime, I'm traveling a lot, playing tournaments here for the next couple months. So I'll be keep energizing the process of teaching the game, as well as trying to figure that out on the court myself.
Right on, good. Yeah. And hey, and for people who want to find out more and get involved, not only in pickleball but just overall fitness, you got something up in OMAC there too, don't you?
Yeah, I do. I've owned an athletic club for 26 years now, and their information for the Wenatchee camp is on my website. It's ncac-omac.com. Just remember, you hear OMAC, but the camp is here in Wenatchee, and or you could Google search North Cascades Athletic Club in OMAC, and once you get to my website, you just click the pickleball, and you'll see the camp and how to register for this camp if you're interested in doing the camp. And then also with this opportunity with the tournament last year, just to show you how big the sport is kind of going, with the border closed, coming out of a pandemic, we had 200 players that came to OMAC
Whoa,
and played
really?
in this May tournament. So I'm expecting 300 this year,
Wow.
and with the border opening up again. And so that is the weekend before Memorial Day, and we have singles and mixed doubles and men's doubles, and it's just such just a great atmosphere. And just enjoy your health and just building relationships.
Yeah, and I actually went online and checked out the video of your guys' your business up there. It's quite a campus.
Right.
I mean, you got pickleball, you got tennis, you got CrossFit, you got workout gym, weights.
Yeah.
I mean, it's comprehensive.
It is, and it brings me back to where I grew up here in Kashmir, and then came back right after graduating from Washington State and worked at the RAC. And so that has been kind of my business model a little bit of what the RAC has done, and brought that content to OMAC. And so it's been an incredible ride, and just now going through another generation and seeing some of my past students are now teaching professionals, or even Tyson McGuffin, who's the top player in the world in pickleball. His very first tennis tournament when he was age 10 was in OMAC.
Right.
So when I see him at these different tournaments, he's just such a great ambassador for the sport, and it's just great staying in touch with them. And it's because of the game of pickleball that we've just kept this great relationship going, as far as so many other people too. So, but it has been a treasure for me to live in a small town in OMAC and to have really a big community. A facility that you normally find in bigger communities,
Yes.
but be able to pull that off in OMAC.
Yeah, I was when I looked at it, I was really surprised. Like, that's quite an operation.
Right.
Yeah. Sizable. Yeah.
And we have some amazing members there, and we get people who come from Chelan and the Methow Valley and Canadian border, that kind of the hub of Okanagan County.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I've really enjoyed to bring pickleball outside that area. Like, I'm branching out in the Chelan, and now doing a camp in Wenatchee, and Dev and I are looking at doing a camp maybe in Yakima. So just looking forward to continue to build the game.
Yeah, there's plenty of demand for it, isn't there?
Yes, there is.
Yeah, right. We just have one more minute left, but what are your aspirations for like the senior tour?
So I have, it's based on points, and so I would want to maintain, I'm number 12 right now in the singles in the senior pro, and if I can maintain the top 20, I get to play nationals, where you get to play at the Indian Wells Tennis Garden. It's a huge complex. It's, as far as tennis goes, it's one of the best venues out there. Well, they resurfaced the tennis courts and to make like 50 pickleball courts.
Wow.
Or 70 pickleball courts. It's absolutely crazy. It's all different ages and skills, but if I can play in the senior pro there and qualify for that, that's in November, and that's what I'm shooting for this year. And I'm on track.
Wonderful.
So I go to Salem next week to play a tournament, and then Austin, Texas at the end of the month, and then kind of slows down a little bit from there. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Well, you're living the life, aren't you?
I love the show, and I'm certainly enjoying it. And it's like I said, this is a window. We'll see how long it's open, but I'm sure enjoying all the relationships and the opportunities I've been given.
Right on.
Yeah.
Well, Mark, we got to wrap up, but thank
Okay.
you so much for being
All right.
on the show
Okay.
and giving us an education, and I hope you inspired some more pickleball players.
I do too.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, you guys, you know what it's time to do now? It's time to get out there. Be a source of kindness. Be a source of contribution. You do have something to offer this world, and I believe in you.